That's a good question. I think, I think where our facility is located, it's probably all handled by one short line who then has a relationship with the CN to bring it online to the Class 1. I don't.
Okay.
I don't see a situation where, in a single strip of, industrial park or whatever, there's multiple short lines operating.
Okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. So it sounds like that from a shipper perspective, there's really very little that a short line does to differentiate itself from another short line operator. And the shipper's not even thinking about like, oh, short line operator A does this, but short line operator B does that. I mean, you've got that's the dynamic.
Yeah, I think that's not too much of a consideration. Like I said before, who your short line operator is probably not going to be a deciding factor in where you put a facility. I think, is it a short line served may enter into it, but who that short line is, I don't know that would be a consideration.
That's helpful. So maybe some other questions related to that. Are there things that you could see that could be driving growth for short line operators in that Memphis, either driving growth or impeding growth for that short line operators in that Memphis market in the near future?
I'm thinking about it. I think, from my perspective and in my experience, the number one thing short lines can do to make themselves grow and be invaluable is to give incredible service at the pickup location or the drop off if you're bringing in cars. The number one complaint I hear about Class 1 versus short lines is that we can't get empty cars brought in and loaded cars taken out when we want. We have to be on their schedule. Whereas with a short line, they're much more flexible. And to me, that's their value.
Yeah. And just related to that, so does Cargo end up owning all its own cars? And so you send them out. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we have a mix. We lease some, we own some. Some are owned by the railroad. Depends on the equipment type.
Yeah. Oh, so there would be instances though where the CN would bring a car to you, you would fill it up, and then they'd take it away, and it would be their own car. Okay.
Yep. And typically we'll pay them, a per day fee to use the car in addition to the freight cost at that point.
Yeah, that makes sense. And maybe just thinking about that is, so I guess that question really becomes the rent versus buy comparison when owning the car, because otherwise I would say this car should just be used at all times, whether or not it's by me.
Yeah, so most often we'll use a railroad-owned car in a place with variable demand, where we don't want to be sitting an asset when volume is down.
Yep.
So we'll use their car to supplement our private fleet.
Okay, that's helpful. Now, so just thinking about this Memphis market again, is trucking becoming more or less attractive in the region, both in Memphis and then in the greater Southwest?
Mm-hmm. That's an interesting question. There's a lot of dynamics at play. I think people, when they're hearing about precision railroad, particularly with the CSX, who's a big player in Memphis and in the region, they get concerned about being able to handle volumes, or will my cars be, moved in a timely fashion. I know there's been some issues with the railroads over the last, 18 months because of precision railroading. So I think trucking is taking off. However, right now the economic factors on truck are pretty bad. So trucking is really expensive right now. I think railroad is still the ideal when possible.